Hello and welcome to the UConn Tonight Show. I'm your host, Tony Tyson.
And I'm your co-host, Tony Tyson.
And here what's new in the news this week. A polar vortex is expected to bring record-breaking cold to the eastern United States over the next week. Local meteorologist Susan Herb says it looks like shorts weather, though. A recent report shows that NBC Nightly News has lost roughly 700,000 viewers since the Brian Williams scandal. But that's probably because those viewers have switched over to the Williams news show, Keep It Trill with B. Will on the E! Network.
The Pentagon reportedly spent $41.6 million on Viagra last year. It's part of their firm, rock-hard stance against terrorism. Rapper Vanilla Ice was arrested this week in Florida on burglary charges. Although he did stop, collaborate with, and listen to the police, Ice will not be back with a brand new invention anytime soon.
Oklahoma Senator Anthony Sykes has proposed a bill that would prevent couples with STDs from obtaining marriage licenses, making it really awkward to explain why the wedding was called off. This week, Oklahoma State Legislature approved a bill that would cut funding for the teaching of advanced placement U.S. history, complaining that the course didn't teach American exceptionalism. Oklahoma, first in gonorrhea, last in education.
The first same-sex marriage in Texas history was performed this week, despite a state ban on gay marriage. The marriage provoked immediate backlash from Texas politicians and citizens alike, proving that everything's a bigger deal in Texas. A Texas teenager was fired for complaining about her job on Twitter before she had even started working there. I tell you, if there's anyone who knows about using Twitter to vent about their job, it's not me, because this job is awesome and Tony's the best.
Carnegie Mellon University mistakenly sent out roughly 800 acceptance letters to applicants that did not actually get accepted into their program. It's probably the first time the admissions officers had to start with the letter, so you're not going to believe this. A woman on death row in Georgia has ordered her last meal, consisting of 2 cheeseburgers, 2 large orders of french fries, lemonade, cherry vanilla ice cream, popcorn, cornbread, and a salad made of boiled eggs, tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, carrots, cheese, and buttermilk dressing. The Georgia Corrections Department has decided to cancel her execution and just let her heart kill her instead.
A spilled tanker of fecal matter recently closed down an Indiana highway after 300 to 400 gallons was leaked onto the exit ramp. Frigid temperature then caused the excrement to freeze, giving new meaning to the phrase cold as shit. Long-running comic series Archie is coming to an end this June with issue number 666. The comic will follow Archie and the gang's summertime antics down by the Lake of Fire.
For shooting at pilot whales with a World War II-era rifle. Police say the man was acting on severely misunderstood orders to protect the stores from enemy pilots. Starbucks will reportedly stop selling physical CDs in its stores, at least until CDs are old enough for hipsters to be interested.
Obese people in the Czech Republic are now being treated at zoos because regular hospital equipment like MRI machines aren't big enough for them. But cheer up, fat people from Czech Republic. Next time someone tells you you're as big as a whale, you can tell them, no, actually a black rhinoceros. A man in Texas reportedly left his prosthetic arm at the scene of a drunk driving crash. The suspect told the police, no, that's not mine. Now, if you excuse me, I need some duct tape for my tennis racket. I mean arm.
The world's famous Iditarod sled dog race has been forced to move due to lack of favorable snow conditions. Despite this setback, race organizers are excited about its new location, Storrs, Connecticut. This week, a contestant on Wheel of Fortune managed to solve a puzzle after being given only 1 letter. While this is an amazing feat, it would have been slightly more impressive if the category weren't 1-letter words beginning with A.
A North Dakota man has been given a DUI for driving a Zamboni while intoxicated. The sad part is, we'll never know how many people died at that open skate night. Producer Gail Katz has purchased the rights to the popular board game Settlers of Catan, meaning that it may be turned into a TV show or movie. The current running title is Settlers of Catan, The Search for a Human Woman.
A female college student at the University of Oregon has been banned from campus after getting caught making a sexy webcam video in the college library. The student said she was looking for the most deserted place on campus and thought that was a good place to start. It has recently been discovered that cable TV has been speeding up its content in order to create more time for ads.
That's crazy, right? It's crazy. We'll be back with more UConn Tonight Show.
Hello and welcome back to the UConn Tonight Show. I'm your host, Tony Tyson.
I'm your co-host, Brian Higgins.
And our free featured guest today is Mosh from Husky Records. He's a feature artist this week. Mosh, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Mosh, you're a musician, or you're an artist. Tell us, what kind of music do you do?
I make some bohemian blues BS. I don't know, it's like some random like mix between John Mayer and Ed Sheeran and I don't know, Queen
Jack Johnson?
stuff. Jack Johnson, I learned Jack Johnson when I first started actually.
Nice.
That doesn't
Cool
sound
guy.
like it at all.
Okay.
That,
All right, well, I'm going to leave.
Rodeo Clowns, that was like one of my first songs.
He's a good, cool guy.
That's weird. Yeah, and stuff like that. Yeah, bohemian blues. I call it that because I just looked it up last night, and bohemian means like against the rules and stuff, and I'm a rebel. And I was kidding, but that, yeah.
Clearly you are a rebel.
Yeah.
You're wearing a no-sleeve shirt underneath there in the middle of winter where like negative 16 degrees out. You are a rebel.
I'm about to play a show right after this. I sweat like a mother. Like, I've actually had girls like come up to me after the show, like go in for the hug, and then they smell. Like they see like the sweat stains on the show, and then they're like, yeah.
Good job.
So I was like, okay, I gotta start wearing tank tops. Like at least I'll be sweaty, but I'll look like glistening.
There you
It
go.
also helps with the Bohemian.
You don't
Yeah.
sweat, you
Cool.
glisten.
Yeah.
Island jams.
So yeah, I thought I'd go with the image.
That's
I guess.
awesome.
So, and every photo you see of me online, I'll be wearing a tank top.
Oh yeah. 2 minutes of UConn, I say there, yeah.
Yeah, that. I was wearing a tank top that night. It was cold as hell though. It was like 20 degrees.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It was bad.
I mean,
A steamy 20. That seems pretty nice right now. I can go for 20.
it was cold as hell. I don't know why people were standing around for so long, but they did.
They enjoyed your music that much.
The McLovins were playing that too, if you know them. Like bands from like.
You mean like, wait, McDonald's or?
No. They're like this big
from-
band.
the
They're
guy
like
from-
signed to some record label.
Really? Where was this?
In New York City. It was right outside South Dining Hall, and it was the MHS Ebola benefit concert.
Oh, I remember that.
It was like
yeah.
a paid gig. They like paid me just like them. It was cool. I opened it. People were like really feeling that concert, even though it was cold as hell.
That's sick.
I remember listening to that from inside because it was cold as hell.
Yeah, because exactly.
All right, so Mosh, so when did you start getting into music? When that began?
How old am I? I'm like 20. So, I joined choir. I joined choir back in like high school, and my choir teacher taught me how to play guitar.
Oh, okay.
And she advised that I got into choir at like college, so I just kept going with that. And then I started songwriting when I was pre-med for some reason. I don't know why. My best friend told me to write songs one day. He told me to like write raps and stuff. And I was really bad at rapping. I was really bad at poetry. And I started writing songs, and that was the only thing I could like do naturally. So I was doing it like all the time.
Oh, okay.
Like writing them everywhere. And then I entered the singer-songwriter contest here called Woodsong Singer-Songwriter Contest. They have that Whitney every year.
Yep.
And I won that the first time I played it. So I was like, okay, I'm a songwriter. I'll just
All
songwrite all
right.
the time.
All right. All right.
So I started songwriting
Nice.
like that.
All right, that's awesome. So can you tell us about some of the songs you've written?
Can you sing them a cappella?
I can sing them.
All right, go ahead.
Wait, what? Do I really?
I'm just kidding.
The songs I write, like they're just really upbeat and just bass line emphasis. I just slap the guitar a lot. It's really loud. I just try to make it as loud as possible. Exactly. My hands just going like that all the time. My hands hate me basically. Yeah, I break my nails all the time because I them up really hard on the guitar. If you heard it, you know. You heard it, yeah. It's like,
I like it. It's good.
thank you. Yeah, it's just the songs are, I don't know, they're freaking about sex and romance and 3 relationships.
Okay.
Like the first EP called Love Lust is basically about 3 different girls spread over 8 tracks. The first one is like Let You Go. It's like a song that's kind of like talking about the first relationship I was ever in. It was my cheating girlfriend.
They're probably really happy, friendly songs.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cheating soul, all the time you stole, give my nights back, I'll let you go, and all that shit like that. Like, it's I love that song.
Good.
Nice.
It's my favorite song on the EP. So, yeah. Songs like that, I guess. Every singer-songwriter writes songs about romance and sex and stuff. So
Oh, okay.
I fit that cliche a little bit. I'm sorry.
You mentioned that you have your EP. Did you do that before you got involved in Husky Records or after, or how did that come
Like
about?
I was playing randomly around campus after I won that contest. I just like played a talent show, which I terribly lost to Brett Steinberg.
Oh.
Yeah. He like won the crowd with "Waiting on the World to Change," and I was like,
Oh, nice. You can't beat that.
I was singing along to it. But yeah, I played that, like played my heart out and everything. And then after, I was approached by Husky Records, and they were like, "Yo, can we manage you?" I was like, "Okay." So I just like went to their meetings. I played regularly, and they were like, "All right, we're going to get with Studio 307. We're gonna pay money for your first EP, and we're gonna distribute it and all that stuff, and we're gonna try and make money off of it." So I was like, "Okay, cool."
I guess.
Yeah, so I just wrote a bunch of songs for the studio, and they put me in there for like 20 hours.
Oh, wow.
It was intense, and it just happened over the course of a week. I wrote 2 of the songs on the EP in that week,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
and then I just put it out, and yeah, we're about to release it now.
Oh, Nice. So if people wanted to get your music, how would they come about getting it?
Facebook.com/MoshYells, I guess, because I'm going to release it on there. Bandcamp, I guess, MoshYells.bandcamp.
So
I'm going to release it online.
Is your
for
artist
free.
name Mosh Yells?
It's Mosh.
Mosh?
Unless there's like some copyright stuff in the future. Then, that'd be messed up. There's a Russian model named Mosh. And she's hot as hell. Like, she lives in California. She like has a huge ass following. Her name is Mosh. She looks like Marilyn Monroe.
Conversation starter.
I know, like, dude.
Hey, can I use this name also? What are you doing next week?
She's like in her late 20s or early 30s. She looks like a mail order, but she's so sexy.
Hey, love finds a way.
Man, dude, I'm scared. I really want to meet her someday.
I have faith in that. Gotta have faith. So you're working with Husky Records. Are you working with any other artists through Husky Records, or is it just do you ever collaborate with some of the other ones out there?
Joe Alicastro.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's like another singer-songwriter at Husky Records. He's also was granted $1,000 for the EP. Yeah, we're about to go into the studio tomorrow actually to record. I'm gonna be on like one or two of his tracks, play guitar, and do a singing harmony, like a part I wrote. And yeah, he collaborates with a few Husky Records artists, so I just hopped on in there. He's really dope. He plays, I don't know, what's that style? You know, you're the manager.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I heard he wears a hat and drinks coffee.
There's a lot of Jack Johnson, John Mayer-ish.
Yeah, like really chill Hawaiian vibes. He's from Hawaii.
He's been changing it up a lot recently with his new
exactly.
stuff.
He's
Ricky
playing
Ricky and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Swamp Brothers, he's been changing up a lot.
Showed up some like piano. He has some piano songs, like really hardcore piano songs. So
some really good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you do you did these Wood Songs thing. You did you're doing gigs with MHS. Do you have any other gigs coming up, or that you've done in the past that you?
The day of this recording, I'm playing benefit for Wyndham High School because they're going through some rough financial times or something.
Yeah.
Apparently, and so like it's Teach for America, but like they're doing a benefit concert for them because I don't know, they need the money or something like that. I should have learned more about that. But I'm closing that concert with I'm playing with Brett Steinberg, Taylor Hamilton, and Matt something. I'm sorry, Matt. Yeah, we're all just jamming out the entire time and like trying to raise money for that. And then a week from this, which is like February 27th, 28th, that Friday, I'm playing with Husky Records. Joe's going to be there, and Brett Steinberg's going to be there. We're going to be playing at Pub 32 and playing a really awesome show because the acoustics in there is amazing. And before that starts at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Before that, it's like 7 o'clock, I'm playing the AACC, the African American Cultural Center. I'm playing their Black History Month closing dinner.
That's awesome.
I'm playing like two songs for them real fast. I got to redeem myself because last year was terrible. It was like so bad. I played some terrible songs. Like they were not responsive. One of the worst shows I've ever played, but it was amazing. I hope I redeem myself. And that's it, so far.
Well, that's awesome. All right. Well, Mosh, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Your big charge for the week. And we'll be back with more UConn Tonight Show. Hello and welcome back to the UConn Tonight Show. I'm your host, Tony Tyson, and our guests today are the president of USG, Mark Sargent, and the vice president, Roma Romaniv. Mark, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for coming back. All right, Mark, you are the president of USG. Last semester we had Claire come on. What happened here? Talk to me.
Well, thank you again for having us on here, Tony. So last year, unfortunately, what happened was I had a medical situation where I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a type of blood cancer, and I was unable to assume the role of president of the undergraduate student government. So what happened was I had my my vice president at the time, Claire Price, assume the role as acting president, and she took the lead last semester while I was the president of leave of absence.
All right. Well, we're so grateful to have you back. You elected you in. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you. It was only by 82 votes, but I was happy to be elected.
Still won. That's good. All right. So how is the transition coming back from your leave of absence to here now as the president?
I think the way that we had it set up was probably the best scenario, where Claire, kept me in constant communication. I had access to all the, documentation and emails. I still, was Skyped in meetings with the administration and as well as our executive committee. So I was, as far as, a learning curve, there was not as much. It was hard, obviously, at first to just assume the role of president from a cultural standpoint with the organization. But as the semester progresses, it's become really part of the regular process of being a member of the organization.
That's awesome. And Roma, you've gone from being the acting vice president to now the full vice president now, coming back now. How is that? How's the transition of having Mark, going from Claire to Mark now? How was that?
My role hasn't really changed. I was always there for whoever was the president, just to do the best that I could with whatever needed to be done. And I mean, it's great having Mark back. He just has so much energy and was so excited to start the semester off. So it was really good. It was kind of like a refreshing start, like let's get back to business. So it was nice.
All right, that's awesome. So one of you tell me, what is USG? What does USG do here at UConn?
Well, all right. Well, we've been working on a lot of things going from last semester to this semester. One of the things that one of our committee members has been working on is the task force on civility that's just starting to progress, and she's getting it assembled. So that's a pretty big issue that we've been dealing. Some of the things that we dealt with this semester, we passed legislation in our Senate regarding the weather situation and sort of trying to get a little bit more of students' input about their situation and difficulties in the extreme weather that we've been having so far, just to get the administration to hear us out.
So just to kind of piggyback off that, a lot of the initiatives that we are, we're obviously a student-led organization. We're here to promote students first, and what we do is we advocate on a regular basis for student groups, and we have regular conversations with the administrators on issues that are important to individuals here on campus. We also, there's over 500 student groups on this campus. We fund over $1.2 million of that to these groups that we allocate. So it's while it's a part of our organization, it's one of the many wings that USG does, is really advocating for the students first.
All right, awesome. So USG, you advocate for students. You mentioned the Task Force for Civility. What is that specifically? Can you go into further detail on what that is and what they do?
So President Herbst, I believe it was last year, formed a civility task force to look at campus culture and dealing with issues such as sexual assault prevention, sexual harassment, and just communication with its civil discourse here on and off campus. And what USG did was we formed a campus inclusion task force, in the sense to kind of coincide with that, because we thought it would also have a nice student-led initiative perspective on that side, and see how students interact with each other from all walks of campus, whether it's cultural centers or Greek life, faculty, D1 athletes, and just students who are involved in Tier 2 organizations who want to promote civil engagement and just how we communicate with each other on and off campus.
All right, awesome. So you mentioned that the USG is here to represent the student population here on campus. Now, a lot of people keep on misconstruing what USG does with SUBOG. I mean, next week we're having President SUBOG on. So what is the difference exactly between USG and SUBOG? If you could tell me that.
Well, I see it from the perspective, SUBOG is more of, they do events and different programs or whatever, they do like late night, the concerts and different things. We're more of the advocacy branch. We have access and a good relationship with the administration, where we could reach them and explain to them what the students are feeling on campus, what things are important to students. So I see USG kind of separating itself as being the advocacy of the student body.
And to go further with that, advocacy even on the state level, we currently, one of our external affairs chair is advocating for students testifying at our Capitol. Obviously recently the budget deficit, there's a $40 million budget deficit that's being proposed by the governor. So that's an issue that a lot of students are facing, and USG is on the front lines fighting for students to make sure that tuition doesn't get increased, and we're making sure that the cost of college is still affordable for everyone here on campus.
All right, that's awesome. So now you mentioned that you were elected into this position. Can you please explain to me how the process of the whole election system goes for you to get into USG?
Yeah, so I've been involved since my freshman year. I ran for North Campus Senator my freshman year. So there's kind of different ways you can run for a Senate seat, and that can be going through either your college, whether it's CLAS nursing school, or you can run through your residential seat. There's also commuter seats as well. and you go to USG office, pick up an election packet. You have to get a certain number of signatures, some other documentations, and make sure to follow some policies, and then just really get your name out there. Tell the students why you want to run, and then if you're elected, obviously the person with the most votes gets the position. As far as the presidency, last year, I kind of sifted through different candidates to see who I wanted to be was the best person to be vice president. I thought of Claire at the time, and we decided to run together. So we formulated a campaign team. Roma was kind enough to help support us during that time, and it was really a ground effort approach as much as possible. We had distributed campaign flyers. We tabled in the student union. We were on Fairfield Way talking to students, knocking on doors, and we ended up winning by 82 votes for the popular vote. So I think it's a very enriching experience. But I think of the whole thing, the best part was just talking to students, in a face-to-face interaction, seeing what their issues are and how we can help better shape facilitating a better UConn community. So that was my experience. I don't know, Roma.
Yeah, sure. So I ran for Shippey residential senator my freshman year as well. And then I sort of took a different path. USG offers so many paths for someone who might not want to run. They could join a committee. We have various different committees that deal with certain topics that they might be interested. They could run for, we have senior staff positions. We have like a chief of staff position. So I went for the deputy chief of staff position, sort of. So that's an appointed position, and you don't necessarily have to run, but you're still very much involved. So there's so many different pathways for students to get involved, and I'd encourage anyone who's interested, stop by our office, ask, how can I get involved, and everyone will be happy to help and guide you in the right direction.
All right. So you mentioned that people can stop by your office and figure out how they can get involved and how they can contact you guys. Is there any other way that people can reach out to USG, send their complaints, reach out to you guys to know what's going on? How can they do that?
So there's various ways, I know that there's surveys that go out in both the beginning and the end of the semester where they ask questions pertaining to USG. USG is also, starting to do an outreach campaign, hopefully going into classes and student groups to help promote our name. We obviously have a Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, social media. So obviously we're in the 21st century. We got to keep up with technology here.
There we go.
I think those are the best ways to reach out. And of all those that trump anything, I think is just face-to-face interaction. You talk with your friend on campus, have these conversations. In between, doing your homework, wonder like, well, what is USG? How can USG help for me? And then just sending us an email, something as simple as that, or just approaching Roma or I or anyone who's part of USG. We'd be happy to help, and I think that's why we're here.
So basically what you're saying, what I'm hearing from you right now is that if you're like in the bathroom at Laurel Hall, I can just walk up to you, into the urinal next to you, just look at you, go like,
I would honestly, I know it sounds really weird, I would love for that to happen. It's never happened before, but I would love to just jump into USG while I'm having those conversations. So, yeah.
All right, awesome. I will remember that. Viewers, remember that. Mark Sargent's okay if you approach him in the bathroom. Roma, do you follow that same policy?
Yeah,
knock on the door.
Bathroom, but anywhere, I'm part of other student organizations on campus, and I love it when those students and those members talk to me about USG, what they think, or what they think was happening at UConn overall. Also, our website has all the information of the emails for each of the senators, both of our emails, and anyone. So we're really easy to reach, and the thing is, we want people to talk to us, and we want people to reach out to us.
I think, and just as an aside, USG can sometimes get a bad rep because, we are portrayed in certain ways, and sometimes it's not because we're portraying ourselves. So a lot of the misconceptions that can go through USG are answers that can simply be, answered, I guess, for lack of a better way, by just asking us. And USG, a lot of members, even from our our committee members to our appointed members, all the way up to Roma and I, are very informed on the issues here on campus. So we'd be happy to help in any way that we can.
That is awesome. So you mentioned that there's face-to-face communication. I think that's really important, how you guys are out there meeting with students, especially since on different parts of campus, both of you can agree with me here that there's so many different cultures going on in different ends on campus. The apartments is nothing like East. It's nothing like Alumni. It's nothing like North. Are there any offices that you guys work with specifically outside of us? I know you work with the administration, but are there any offices that you collaborate with so you get a more feel of like the culture and on campus?
So what USG did, so obviously we work primarily with the student activities office, but what USG did this year was we reached out to all the cultural centers as well as Greek Life, and we appointed ex officio senator members to get representatives from those cultural centers who can help, kind of not only bridge the the communication gap between USG and the cultural centers, but USG and just the student body in general, and to get the perspective on that sense. So I think communication is the end all be all for fixing problems here on campus, and just getting people to talk is a phenomenal step going forward.
All right, that's so awesome. All right, just final questions.
Sure.
Mark, I know you're the president of USG, but is there any other activities you're involved with here on campus, and just so the viewers get to know you on a more personal
Yeah, sure.
level?
So I was brother of the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity. I was also former officer of the UConn College Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm both actively involved in both. I don't hold any positions anymore. Obviously, I'm a second semester senior, so trying to weed my way out over here. But I've been involved on campus for a good amount of time.
That's awesome. What about you, Roma?
I'm actually involved with WHUS. I do the news for them, so I'm involved in the news team, and I love that. It's really fun. And I'm also part of some, tier 2 organizations like the Ukrainian Student Association here on campus.
That's
so.
awesome. So you mentioned you're on the radio. When can we hear you on the radio?
Thursdays at 5, news updates. Every Thursday at 5.
All right, awesome. Well, Mark, thank you for coming back
so
on the show.
much, Tony.
Welcome back to
Appreciate it.
UConn.
Thank
Roma,
you.
thanks for coming on the show. All right, and we'll be back with more UConn Tonight Show.